remember that your body has the ability to heal in all the ways, physically, mentally, emotionally, and beyond. And I really want to reiterate this because sometimes we hear these words and we become desensitized to it.
Welcome to Biohacking with Brittany, where high performance health meets non-toxic living. I'm Brittany Ford, a holistic nutritionist, bringing you science-backed strategies in biohacking, longevity, and holistic wellness. Whether you're navigating fertility, pregnancy, postpartum, or simply striving for optimal well-being, you're in the right place. Let's dive in. Welcome to Biohacking with Brittany, and thanks for tuning in to this fun and interesting episode that I did. This was an interview with Dr. Mahboubeh, who is a naturopathic doctor, and we really dove into women's mental health in this episode. We talk about hormones, we talk about anxiety, metabolic health, and we kind of just get into stress in the nervous system and how everything's related and what we can actually really do about it. Like, how can we biohack it? How can we heal holistically? And how can we really just optimize our health when we're faced with challenges that really do stretch us mentally? So this is really great. There's a lot of practical takeaways in this one. And I just love learning from her. I love naturopathic doctors in general, but Dr. Mahboubeh has just so much to share. And I think you are going to get a lot out of this. I certainly did. And I will link her program in the show notes if anyone wants to join her Body Aligned program. No problem. Looks incredible. And it's all about helping women heal anxiety naturally. And honestly, so many of us struggle with anxiety, whether you're a mom or not, pregnant, postpartum, wherever you are. It's so prevalent. And so it's just really nice to see such a holistic program available to everybody online. Definitely check that out if that speaks to you and you feel like you could benefit. Before we dive in, a shout out to Bioptimizers. Right now, I am loving their mushroom breakthrough powder. I have some every afternoon. It's basically like 4 different mushrooms in a powdered drink, and I have it with coconut milk. I love it because it actually helps with brain fog and I feel much better in the afternoon. I don't like to drink any caffeine, like kind of after 1 p.m. So when I can have this at 3 or 4, I still feel better. And my brain is really turned on from the functional mushrooms. And it also has collagen in it. And it also tastes really good. I love the salted caramel flavor. My husband loves the chocolate. There's also a chai flavor, which is great in the winter as well. Use my discount code BiohackingBrittany to get 10% off of all of Bioptimizer's products. They're great. And I just love them. And a shout out to Novus. Novus is making waves in the longevity space. They have a supplement powder that you add to water called Novus Core. And this is really cool because it actually targets all 12 hallmarks of aging. So there's 12 different pathways of aging in the body. And when we can look at these and understand them, we can understand that there's actually nutrients that can help support them in all of us. And they created this powder that makes that possible for all 12 in one. So you don't have to take multiple things to kind of like hack all of these different pathways. You can just take Novus Core, have a glass of it a day, and it can really help. They also just came out with gummies, which is really cool to see. They also have a NMN booster, which you can even take on top of the Novus Core powder, which I try to do because it really does help with mitochondria, helps with energy. And I really am looking to hack my energy as much as I can right now as a baby and as someone running a business while baby sleeps. And I'm not getting a lot of sleep. So, I'm pulling from wherever I can using all of my different knowledge in biohacking. And Novus totally supports that, is great for parents across the board. So you can use my discount code BiohackingBrittany and get 10% off. I would do the subscription. I wish I could just subscribe for life for this supplement because I think it's epic. And I know you guys love it as well because I get so many replies every single time I post about it in my Instagram stories. So check out Novus, that's spelled Novos, and I will link it in the show notes. It's on my website, biohackingbrittany.com. And thank you for tuning into this podcast episode today. I am doing interviews every Tuesdays and AMA, which is Ask Me Anything. I don't know if I need to tell people that every single time, but those episodes come out on Fridays. So check them out. Please subscribe, leave a rating or review. And if you have any questions, send me a message on Instagram, or you can even email me if you really want to. But I'm way faster on Instagram. So that's at biohackingbrittany. Thanks for listening, and I will catch you soon. Welcome to Biohacking with Brittany. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in to today's episode. I am really excited about this episode. We are going to be diving into everything: anxiety, hormones, metabolic health, all areas that I have so many questions about and am so interested in personally, and for like my community as well. And joining me, I have Dr. Mahboubeh. I hope I said your name okay. She is a naturopathic doctor and founder of Body Aligned, and this is a program that helps women heal naturally. She also has experience in functional medicine, which I'm super curious about. And we're just going to really explore what all of these realms mean for women in today's society, why more and more of us are actually struggling in these areas as well. And so welcome to the show.
Thank you so much. Thank you for having me, Brittany.
Yeah. So I would love to know about your personal background and kind of what first led you to start studying natural health and even naturopathic medicine.
Yes. So maybe my background is a bit unorthodox, meaning I was not one of those people who was, dreaming about becoming a doctor ever since I was 5 years old, but always very curious about the world around us. So I started in engineering. I was in my field of specialty was neural engineering slash and research wise, and then designing cardiovascular catheters and stents, and working for one of the biggest, medical device slash pharmaceutical corporations. And during my time there, I was starting to ask questions, probably uncomfortable questions, and understanding. And over time, I understood that I would not be getting my answers there, where I was. That was, a cog in a wheel. We were part of the system that was contributing to the state of health that we are, witnessing. And so, if I wanted something different, or I at the time, I just was asking questions that, hey, it's amazing that we're having such maybe sometimes life-saving impact on people's lives when they need it. What if we started ways before, what if we did preventative work, maybe, earlier? And that's obviously it has nothing to do with the work that I was doing, but, that later on, I kind of developed a vocabulary for it of preventative medicine and lifestyle medicine, all of these things. But that would not be good for the bottom line of where I was. So, that, and while this was happening, I was also becoming, I had gotten into mountaineering, and I was very interested in ways that I could optimize my performance and enhance recovery. So those were a couple of things. I mean, hindsight is always 2020. There were a lot of reasons. Like I was following the breadcrumbs, which the universe was sending me, and as I always do. And so these are like some of the highlights, but there was a lot of internal and external and deeper stuff that was just pushing me. I quit that job during the financial crisis, where everybody was like, just take a sabbatical. You're just been working too hard. Go travel and come back to your senses and come back to us. And I said, I don't think so. I think once I'm gone, I'm gone. So left that, and then got introduced to naturopathic medicine. And that was amazing because I realized that, hey, I can use my engineering skills, the problem solving skills, and this new passion that I'd found about understanding everything that I could about the human body and psyche and put them together and share it with other people. And realizing that, hey, I don't have to practice. And I had because of a family issue, I had, my aunt was diagnosed with oral cancer. So I had a glimpse of that world and realized that no, there is another way of practicing medicine where it's not robotic. It's not just a single prescription for no matter, like standard of care does not have to be the case. And you can individualize and personalize, and you can take the time to sit with the patient and understand their life story and all of that. And I love it. I'm in love. I love the philosophy of medicine, and it resonates. And it's the reason why I stepped out of the world that I was in. As much as I love the technical and the intellectual challenge of it. And so, yeah, so that's how I ended up in naturopathic medicine and medical school. Yeah.
I love that. I can see how the crumbs have fallen and you have followed the path
Yes.
To where you are now. And when did you kind of start focusing on women's health a bit more and realizing potentially that there's some gaps there and there's really just not as much holistic and preventative support for women in today's world, maybe that you would like to see?
Yeah. Ever since medical school, I always liked complex cases. I would always say, give me the hardest ones on, our clinic shifts. So those would be cases of complex chronic disease, cancers, autoimmune disease, and all of that. So I came to practice with that background. And so some things are, because you love them and you're lucky to kind of tailor your practice based on that. And there are things that just fall on your lap. So as I'm sure women are a bit more, thankfully, proactive when it comes to their health. So most of your patient population, for the most part, ends up being women. And so you're exposed to the issues that they're going through at different stages of life and how maybe their concerns are not being addressed and how that's shaping not just their health, but the health of their families. Because, as women, we're the stewards of health for our, for ourselves, for our families, for our communities, and extended family. That's kind of where the aha moment happened for me, that every single one of these beautiful women that is sitting in front of me, if I'm working with them and if I can help them and if they learn to have a sense of agency over their health, it's not just their lives that being impacted. It's everybody around them. So that was part of what happened. And then I started seeing women in their 20s, in their 30s and beyond, who were being put on, this is to the latter part of your question, who are being put on some sort of a psychotropic medication, whether it was an antidepressant or anxiolytic anti-anxiety med or mood stabilizer, for a variety of reasons, right? Like for sleep issues, for hormonal imbalances, not because for blood sugar dysregulation, not because any investigation was done, but just because this is how we deal with people who just, go to the doctor and complain that there's something off. And we, that in the traditional sense, conventional sense, we run the very limited, most basic set of labs. We don't find anything that's wrong. And the patient keeps insisting that, hey, I feel like, I'm not the same person or something is off. And then, or they're going through a crisis. Let's say they haven't had a breakup or they have a loss in their life or going through grief. And then immediately that's, we put them on these meds. And if you want, I can expand a little bit more on why, this is a big issue.
Lately, we've all been reminded how important it is to stay sharp no matter how old we are. We really can't let the years slow down our mental game. Whether we're 30, 40, 80, we can choose to feel our best. If you've noticed that your brain feels a bit foggy as you age, or even as you're a new mom and you're experiencing mom brain, as they call it is time to clear the mental cobwebs. And I can't think of a better and more delicious way to do it than by having my daily dose of Mushroom Breakthrough from Bioptimizers. Mushroom Breakthrough packs a powerful punch with 4 cognitive boosting mushrooms: lion's mane, chaga, cordyceps, and reishi, plus collagen for extra brain support. Lion's mane in particular can increase the levels of BDNF, which is a protein that helps brain cells grow. This is crucial for learning and memory, which typically decline as we age. It's kind of like fertilizer for your brain cells. On top of these incredible benefits, it's also delicious and comes in 3 different flavors that all taste amazing. Give Mushroom Breakthrough a try and feel the difference. I have a glass every single day, and you can do the same. Head to bioptimizers.com/Brittany, and you can use my discount code biohackingbrittany, which is in all capitals, to get your Mushroom Breakthrough for 10% off today. Your future self will thank you. Yeah. Yeah. I would love to hear why you think it's a big issue, but I also just want to agree with you when you were talking about women being the foundation for their family's health. Like, I've never thought about it from that perspective before. And I just think that's so accurate because, families kind of do center around the mothers. And why would that not be the same when we talk about health? And if mama is healthy and vibrant and really able to show up with the right mental space and brain functioning as she can, then everyone in that immediate family and extended family benefits.
1,000%. 1,000%. I mean, you nailed it and you said it so eloquently because, again, it's not just their health. I can tell you, I always, like, what I'm about to share with you is things that I've seen. And it's crazy that I studied this. I immersed myself and I practice this medicine and I live and breathe it. But it's one thing when you hear something and it's another when you experience it. So I can tell you that, I've seen people's relationships, their finances, their posture, the structure of their face, how they appear, how they carry themselves in the world. This is not even including all the physical and emotional aspects of well-being, right? Their mood, their energy, their hormonal balance, their libido, cognitive power, their sense of confidence. All of these things transform because they've come back to their bodies, they've understood how it functions, and they've adopted a healthier lifestyle. So this is just this gift that keeps on giving. It's this ripple effect. So to your point, not just the health of the family, but like you said, if mama is feeling good, then she is more present in the dynamic with her child, with her partner, and who doesn't want that? And the other thing that I've seen is how the let's say the extended family, right? Like I have students, I have patients that now are bringing their parents, and they're transforming their health because they're feeling so good that it's just everybody, their friend group, people are asking, what are you doing? I want a piece of that, and what is happening? It's because it's organic and it's real and it's felt by us, like we were talking earlier before we started recording. You said, being exposed to natural sunlight and feeling alive. That aliveness is extremely attractive. And I tell my students all the time, one of the best, like for those of us who are in this field of the, sitting across from people and helping to guide them through their health journey, one of the best marketing tactics is to live what you like, walk your own talk, because you're a walking billboard for what you're saying and people want to see that, and so yeah. So this, I could not agree more with what you're saying.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. So when it comes to mental health for women, how prevalent is it in society today? Like, how big of an issue is this currently?
It's huge, not just so it's becoming more and more of a problem. And I could be off with my stats, but 1 in every 4 women and 1 in every 8 or 9 children are being put on some sort of a mood altering, psychotropic medication. And a lot of times, so my part of my issue with these things is that, first, just to set the tone, there is a time and place for all of the tools that we have access to, right? We are all grateful for emergency medicine. If if we get into an accident, maybe acupuncture is not the best, and we're bleeding heavily, acupuncture is not as amazing as acupuncture is. But there's a time and place for every tool. So I want to emphasize that. But putting that aside, when these medications do not teach you skills to deal with life, skills to deal with challenges, because whatever you're going through right now, more than likely is not going to be the last time you'll face a challenge, unfortunately. So that's one aspect. The other side is these medications. Oftentimes people are put on these meds because they're going, like I said, they're going through something. They're never told that there's an expiration. Most of these, let's say, to just be a little bit more specific, antidepressant, anxiolytics, even when they, the research that was done on them, it was short term, 6 months to a year. Now women are being put on these meds without an expiration date. So they're just told to take them indefinitely. There's no informed consent. Nobody tells the patient that, hey, listen, if at some point you decide to come off of these meds, you may experience symptoms that had nothing to do with the reason why you went on this medication to begin with. Let's say you're going through a breakup. Okay, you were grieving, it was like beyond what your nervous system could handle at the time. Instead of teaching you, instead of allowing you to experience what you're feeling. I mean, some of these challenges, life challenges, are needed. This is how we become resilient. But we treat them as if these are things that need to be medicated out of us. It's kind of like our human condition is needed to be medicated out of us. And so I just want to tell our amazing audience that periods of reflection, of deep introspection, of endless tears sometimes are needed. And if you don't bypass it, there's an amazing reward on the other side. And the reward is you've gotten to know yourself better. You're stronger for it. You've built a deep connection with yourself. You've gone through your dark night of the soul. You've gone through the process of maturation. You've picked up that damn phone and answered your soul's calling to just to live, and to want to be alive and fully feel the whole spectrum of feelings, to not want to numb, to not want to distract, to not want to run away. So that's one piece. And like I said, the other piece is the withdrawal symptoms, especially for those folks that have been on these meds long term. And the other piece is, which that was one of the impetus behind me taking a couple of years to write this and create this course was that these women would tell me, I do not have a sense of myself. I don't know who I am, because ever since I've known myself, ever since I even had a say about my healthcare, I was 8, 9, 10 years old. I was put on these meds, and then kind of, they kept being added on as I went through puberty and hormonal imbalances and all of that. And, so these women have their work cut out for them. And so I told myself, instead of sitting there being upset and complaining about why is it that things are like this, I'm going to do something about it. And, so here we are.
Yeah, it's beautiful. it's very encouraging. And I do agree. I think there's so much that we can do before we turn to pharmaceuticals in terms of lifestyle interventions, which I know you talk a lot about in your program, and diet and even supplements, but like really lifestyle and diet should become before supplements, before we rely on like a Xanax to get through the day type of thing. I'm curious if you work with women who are potentially in the postpartum phase, or maybe even like a bit later than postpartum in the motherhood phase of life, where there tends to be this reliance, and I'm kind of seeing it now as I'm in this phase. There tends to be this reliance on pharmaceuticals to kind of get through the day with your kids. So like mommy pops a Xanax or has a bottle of wine to herself at the end of the day. And it's like, oh, I got to cope with my children. So let me rely on this substance to get through that, instead of like dealing with whatever depression actually might be going on, or anxiety, or like fear or anger, or all these actually really deep emotions that maybe women have been trained to kind of like suppress. So I'm curious, do you see that kind of narrative in your practice?
Absolutely. Yes. Yes. And I want to open a parentheses and then directly answer your question. So if for all the beautiful humans listening to this, if you don't take anything away from this conversation, remember that your body has the ability to heal in all the ways: physically, mentally, emotionally, and beyond. And I really want to reiterate this, because sometimes we hear these words and we become desensitized to it, right? Like any self-help, personal growth book has something along those lines.
Mm-hmm.
This is not just, I'm not just filling air with empty words. I literally mean this, because I've seen it. I've seen people's blood work change. I've seen people's imaging, their brain MRI change. So when I say you literally can heal, because I mean, think about it. We all know this. I always give this example to make it very easily digestible. If you have a broken chair and if you leave it for a year and come back to it and nothing has been done, no glue, no nothing, no repair, the chair is still broken. We don't operate that way. If you break a bone, and so long as like the basic minimum conditions are met, your body will heal itself in a matter of weeks, So if not sooner. So point being is, your body can literally heal. And I the reason why I want to say this is because sometimes listening to these conversations, for some people can be empowering, and for some people can be discouraging, because they think, with where I am with my health, there's no help for me. And I can tell you that I've seen it all. Well, I should be careful with what I say, because human bodies and psyches are amazing and always surprising us. And so, but I've seen enough to say to you that no matter where you are, like your body, our bodies are made to heal. They're self-healing machines. So, and our job is to just create the right environment. And the work and what you're doing with your work, or what I do, is just to educate people about what those right conditions are. So that's one aspect. And then to your question, yes, absolutely. I see, not just, so the postpartum and dealing with the busyness of life for these women is one thing, but then add to that, if you have a job, and if you're, let's say you're a CEO of a company, or you're self-employed, and all of these things get stacked, and it's almost like this is my right. I have a right to decompress at some point in the day somehow, and it gets like whatever to 9-10 p.m. and the bottle of wine opens up, or I need the Xanax or the any other coping mechanism and comes into play. And your question was so beautifully, you put it so beautifully, because you gave the answer in the question, and that is taking a pause, and really looking under the hood and realizing that a lot of these things have deeper roots, and sometimes the answer is very, very simple.
Imagine waking up each day feeling energized, mentally sharp, and visibly youthful, no matter your age. I've unlocked exactly that with Novus Core, and it's completely upgraded my approach to longevity. Novus Core is the only longevity supplement that targets all 12 key causes of aging, something no other product does. Most supplements only address one or two aspects of aging, but Novus Core is a complete formula designed to work across all the biological pathways of aging in one simple daily drink. Developed by leading longevity experts from Harvard Medical School and MIT, Novus Core is backed by serious scientific research. What makes Novus Core so effective? It's packed with 12 scientifically validated ingredients like fisetin, glycine, calcium alpha, ketoglutarate, and magnesium, each included at scientifically proven doses. These ingredients work together to protect your DNA, help reduce inflammation and cellular senescence, and support stem cell health, effectively slowing aging at its root causes. And here's something even more exciting. You don't have to wait years to feel the difference. 81% of Novus customers report noticeable improvements in their skin, mood, energy, or sleep within just 2 weeks, with even greater benefits accumulating over time. Since incorporating Novus Core, I've experienced incredible boosts in my energy, honestly, like right away when I'm drinking it, improved sleep, sharper cognition, and balanced moods, and even visibly healthier skin, which we all love. I genuinely feel younger, healthier, and more vibrant every single day when I have this. If you are ready to take your longevity journey to the next level, you can visit novuslabs.com and use my discount code biohackingbritney for 10% off of your first month subscription of Novus Core. That's novoslabs.com with code biohackingbritney for 10% off your first month's subscription. Enjoy and let me know what you think.
So I can give you an example that less, let's say, self-destructive than some of those things. I had a patient, and she, many children after, and a marriage and work and all of that. And she said one of the reasons why she was coming to me was hormonal balance, anxiety, and weight management. And so we're talking about these things, and she said, for those of us living in California, in the U.S., in California, and in Southern California, people know about Air One and kind of like Whole Foods, and so we have this misunderstanding that whatever we buy from these stores, and to whatever extent and amount, it's just healthy, because we associate Whole Foods with health, or Air One with health, and the juices and the smoothies and all of that. So she's going to Air One twice a day, spending a ton of money and buying things that are like in the quote unquote health section, but make her feel good. And those calorie dense, desserts that are healthy, but there's a limit to that, right? So I asked her, I said, do you are you hungry? No, I'm not. I said, what is it that you really, really want? I just want 5 to 10 minutes a day to myself. I want to go to the bathroom and not have like one of my kiddos, knocking at the door or want to be in there with me. I want to feel attractive again. I want to feel I want to feel wanted. I want to feel that feminine energy again. And I was like, exactly. That is, you are hungry for that. And this act of just kind of, as she said, shoving things down her throat, is just to kind of make sure that nothing comes out, like what wants to come out, which is, hey, I just want for people to know that I'm beyond just a mom of a few kids, and not that there's anything. I mean, this is amazing. but I just need something else. And so all she like, and I was like, okay, your answer is in your dilemma and your answer are one and the same. Ask for 5 to 10 minutes a day to yourself, doing whatever it is, whether it's listening to the same song on repeat, closing the door, closing the blinds, turning off the light, turning on the music, dancing to yourself, or whatever the case it is, or journaling or whatever, going and sitting and sipping on tea. But that piece of slowing down.
Yeah.
Slowing down in the world where we're encouraged to just wear being busy and productive as a badge of honor all the damn time. You know, God forbid if we're unproductive. God forbid if we're just standing in line and we're just standing in line, you know, and we're not listening, to something. We're not reading something. We're not scrolling on social media. God forbid if the traffic light takes like an extra second or whatever the case is, you know?
Mm.
So just slowing down. We don't have to pay anyone anything. We don't have to go anywhere. It's the same us doing the same things with a different intention. So slowing down, even if it's just the second that you're putting on your mascara, you're going to put on your mascara. You might as well be present and just look at yourself, give yourself that look in the eye for that 1 second and say, you know what? It will never be Monday, March the 17th, 2025 again. And me looking at myself at this point, just savor that, you know, and if you can find a few moments throughout the day of these, like of you being really present and slowing down time for yourself and pushing all the noise and all the fear of being behind and missing out away, your life, your nervous system, your hormones, your health, your psyche, your well-being will be very different. Very different. Yeah. And I promise you, the world will not fall apart. Your businesses will not, you will not go bankrupt. None of this will happen. You will just feel more confident, more feminine, more full, more ready to give, more of this intrinsically being fed by the universe.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more with you. And I've been thinking about this a lot lately. I think North American society specifically, the rat race culture, the busyness is very masculine. And it doesn't really give a lot of space to be feminine and to be grounded in ourselves and have space. And it's exactly like you said, when people text me and it's like, hey, how's it going? I'm like, oh, I'm good. I'm busy with this and that. And it's like, it feels good for me to say that I'm busy. But in reality, does it actually feel good? How does my nervous system feel? Yeah. And if I ask somebody, hey, how are you doing? And if they were to respond with, oh, I'm just chilling, not much going on, I'd be like, wow, that must be nice. You know what I mean? So yeah. I think you're so spot on. And I think we really need to take a look at our lifestyles and how do we slow down? How do we be more present and just be with ourselves and less so many devices on at the same time, so many balls in the air, especially as women. I just find the multitasking is just outrageous. How many things we're all trying to do. And it's gotten worse with technology. And so I find you have to be so intentional now. Yes. So intentional. Yes. I'm going to go for a walk with my dog and I'm going to leave my phone at home. That's I have to consciously think that so that I can take a break from being stimulated all the time.
Yes. Yes. And it will take some adjusting to that way of being, initially it's quite uncomfortable that you're wasting time, that maybe society is looking at you as this waste of, as a loser, let's just call it what it is, but that's how we feel. And, and we realize that how much of our day from moment to moment we're spending lost and outside of ourselves, and constantly feeding that, like you call it, the rat race, the hustle culture, the the thing that ultimately, is not serving us in any which way. And if I can, every time we go out of we live out of alignment with our nature, it's a losing battle. Every time we live in alignment with, in harmony with our nature, we're winning, and so I just want to kind of make this practical, because we hear these buzzwords. How do I balance my hormones? How do I regulate my nervous system? And we think, oh, these things are some like things that we have to spend hours and hours of study. But let's take regulating your nervous system. Your nervous system will feel regulated when you as a woman feel safe in the world. And all of these things are connected. So your nervous system and your hormonal system talk to each other directly all the time. So everything that I say, not to mention every other thing, but so everything that we're talking about is applicable. Once you improve one aspect of your health, you're improving all aspects of your health. This is the meaning of we're connected, and connected beings, and systems work in harmony with one another. We were saying that your nervous system will feel regulated if your nervous system will feel regulated when you feel safe in the world, and you will feel safe in the world when you do not have this constant thing in your head, this monkey mind, rushing you while you're even doing 5 things, you're thinking about the next 5 things that you have to attend to. So slowing it down and asking for help when it's needed, and resting. When I say rest to my patients, I always say, I mean this separately from sleep. Rest is a neocortex rest. Rest is, when you do a palming exercise, like you put your hands over your eyes, and you give your eyes a rest for 3 minutes, and you kind of shut everything down. You wait until that darkness sets in, and you focus on your breath. You focus on breathing slower and with more intention. So rest, neocortex rest, brain rest, napping for a few minutes, or just going and laying horizontal, and just doing anything and everything that recharges your battery.
I love that. I love those practical tips. And I agree with everything you say. Even I find when I'm overworked and stressed, I just lie down horizontally. I don't nap, but I just feel better.
Yes.
Like I feel like calmer. I just feel more chill. And there is something about that weight and sensation in the body being off of your feet almost. It just feels really, really good in the body. Feels really, really good. And I love the idea of the palming exercise. I'm going to actually do that. I feel like that's something that's like very relaxing to like close your eyes and just kind of cut out the stimulation that you see.
You would love it, especially because, sorry to cut you, but because you do the work that you do with like all the content creation, your eyes are like, I mean, I can talk about the eyes forever, but you will love it, and it will be so, so good for all the systems.
Absolutely. Do you have any other practical advice that you would give to a woman listening to this who maybe is feeling overstimulated and wants to kind of come down to earth, but doesn't necessarily have time to like do an hour of yoga every single day?
Yes. So again, all of these things, you do not have to set aside 3 hours a day. I don't have that. You don't have that. But think, how can I incorporate them? Your daily habits, like those little things every day, all the decision making makes a difference as you start to stack them on top of one another. So the slowing down is one. And then the nourishment piece is huge. I can't begin to tell you how many times, Brittany, I get a patient who's been put on some sort of a medication or has been given a diagnosis without, let's say, anxiety or otherwise. But one of the main issues that was off was blood sugar imbalances or blood sugar dysregulation. Just not being, we talk about high blood pressure being bad. We talk about high blood sugar levels being bad. But we don't talk about the other side. So if high blood pressure or high blood sugar levels are bad, which they are for your health, Does that mean the lower the better? No. Does that mean you should not have a pulse? You should not have any blood pressure. Your blood sugar level should be tanking. Absolutely not. For your brain to function, for your body to create hormones, for you to have libido, for low blood sugar levels. Low blood sugar levels is a form of stress for your body, and your body deals with it just like how it deals with any form of stress. Your body will prioritize, because it prioritizes your survival. It will prioritize dealing with that over making sex hormones, over repairing and regenerating your skin. So you will age prematurely, over, giving you beautiful, luscious hair and growing your nails and all the other good stuff. All of that would take a back seat because your body now has to deal with this. So nourishment is huge. And what do we mean by that? Eating balanced meals, not being afraid of actually nourishing your body. When you wake up in the morning, and for those beautiful women that say, but I don't have an appetite in the morning, I say, eat and the appetite will come. Eat first. And you don't have to have a large meal, a few bites, but just something to kind of create that sense of safety for the body, that it's getting the nourishment that it needs. Definitely having some protein on board, which brings me to this point of making sure you're getting, I'm sure they've heard plenty, but reminding you that getting enough protein and so female bodies and our hormones and our nervous systems love all three macros. So carbs, fats, and protein. So having enough of them throughout the day and not leaving big gaps between your meals. And all of these things depends on where you are along your health journey, right? Some of us can play around with these, right? Some of us need to initially, because we come from years of restrictive dieting and deficiency, we need to be a bit more diligent with these things. So not leaving a huge gap between meals, making sure that you're well fed, making sure that you're hydrating well, not just with water, but with mineral rich foods and drinks. So those would be seasonal fruits. Those would be herbal, drinks, or teas, concoctions, and salt. So all the things that maybe people are being, I'm sure not your community, but people are being scared of. Those are those are what your body needs, again, to feel, I will say this one more time, with the whole nervous system regulation, with hormonal balance, with regulating your mood. Before we turn to fancy things, we need to learn to actually understand what our body is communicating to us. Like, what are like when we're hungry, what does it mean? When I'm thirsty, when I'm tired, and actually start to, once you hear it, answer the call, respond, give your body what it needs. This is how you create a safe environment for your body to thrive. And this is what we were talking earlier about, that right environment for your body to heal. This is what we're talking about.
I love that. Yeah, so much. And I agree with so much of what you're saying and could relate to it as well. And I think my audience can too. Thank you so much for this discussion. I feel like I've learned so much from you. And I know you have a program that really focuses on this. So I'd love to hear more about that if women want to connect with you after this episode.
Absolutely. So yes, I still have my practice where I see patients in one-on-one. And also, I created this program because of all the things that we talked about. So the program walks you through all the lifestyle facets, some of which we talked about, some of which we couldn't. So hydration, nourishment, sleep, movement, addressing stress, but more so I call it building resilience, and relationships. So relationship with ourselves and with other people, and then getting into so this is the foundation. And then we get into gut, metabolism, and hormones. Cool. And the reason why, like you said it at some point, you said, like lifestyle before supplements and biohacking tools. And, and because lifestyle, I mean, this, because this is your work, lifestyle is the ultimate biohacking tool, like lifestyle modifications. And I can tell you that I have patients that come to me being on all the bioidentical hormones and all the supplements. So they're on thyroid hormone, they're on estrogen, progesterone, and testosterone pellets. and they feel quite crappy. And it's because their livers are overburdened because of all the things just being, and hormones are being converted in all sorts of wrong directions. And more importantly, and the reason why these things are happening is because the lifestyle is not there. So they're just taking these external things and not really living in alignment with what the body needs. So yes, the program covers all of that, plus the things that we love to hear about, how to improve your metabolism, how to balance your hormones, how to live in sync with for those of us going through our fertile years and cycling years, how to better understand your menstrual cycle and you harness its power. It's extremely powerful, the different phases of our cycle as women.
Yeah, absolutely. And so that is your Body Aligned program. And I will definitely link that in the show notes and on the website so that everyone can find you super easily. Yeah, that's awesome. I love everything that you're doing with that program. It's very similar to mine, actually, in a way, but which doesn't surprise me because you end up attracting guests who, you have a lot in common with.
Yes. And truth is kind of universal. I always love this because if different people are arriving at similar points because of their life experience and because of their work with other people, that means there's something there that we need to pay attention to. So love that.
Thank you. Yeah, absolutely. Well, thank you so much. I will link this for everybody. And yeah, I just really appreciate this interview. And it was great to hear from you and connect with you.
Thank you so much. Absolutely. Same here. And so the audience knows that we are offering a 25% discount with the code biohacking Brittany. So please take advantage of it.
Yeah, amazing. Thanks so much for doing that. That makes it so much easier for people. Yeah, and I love that for my community.
Thank you. Thank you so much for having me, and thank you for everyone for listening.
Thanks for tuning in to Biohacking with Brittany. If you love this episode, make sure to subscribe, leave a review, and share it with someone on their own wellness journey. Stay connected with me on Instagram at Biohacking Brittany for more on high performance health, non-toxic living, and the latest in biohacking. Until next time, keep striving for your healthiest, most vibrant self.